Good afternoon. The purpose of my brief today is to inform you on military suicide. I'm Myra Lari, and in today's brief, I will cover how suicide in the military has gone up in the past couple years. Also, the importance of educating ourselves on some signs and symptoms and people and hotlines that we can reach out to. A couple years ago, while I was deployed, was the first time that I ever heard of a military member committing suicide. A young man had taken his own life. I wish I could say that this was the first and only time that I heard of this, but unfortunately, throughout my 6-year career, there have been many more. Let's begin by looking at how military suicide happens almost once a day on average. While doing some research, I came upon an article on the Huffington Post that stated that out of the first 155 days of this year, 154 military soldiers active duty had already committed suicide. This, I believe, happens because of the war and being away from your family with no contact also can affect us mentally. Deployments are no longer, in my career field, we have gone from 4 months to 6 months, and I even heard that we were starting to do this thing where we were going to be gone for 6 months and come back for 6 months. This is not a way to live a life. You have no time for yourself, you have no time for your family, and just being deployed and sitting on post isn't always a good thing because your mind tends to wander, and usually it's on the negative side of things. Stationed here at MacDill, in the past 2 years, there have already been 4 suicides. Many more have attempted. I know this because one of my coworkers attempted suicide. Luckily, she is doing good now. She got out of the military and sought help. Now that you know how frequent suicide in the military is, let's look at some signs and symptoms of suicide. Most signs and symptoms include anxiety, depression, loss of interest in sports or activities, and usually we tend to find this in troops returning from the war zone, usually suffering from some type of post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD, that they don't get treated for because they're embarrassed to go seek help. Most people do not seek help because they feel like they are wrong, that there's something wrong with them, and it's not the case. Being in a world of violence has an effect on you, and you should seek help. Now that you are aware that some of the symptoms and signs, you should also know that many sources in the community are ready to help you out. You should not be afraid or care care what others think if you seek help. As a military member, we are given free counseling either through mental health or also 1-800 Military One Source. I know I've gone to it, www.militaryOneSource.com. There's always an operator, no matter what time of the day, 24/7, willing to help you out, ready to help you out. If you are afraid to go seek help from a stranger, know that your family and friends are there for you as well. Family and friends are in pain when you are in pain. Everybody's a family. Everybody wants to help out. Now that you have been reminded that you can always reach out for help, let's go back over what I covered today. Today I covered suicide in the military, some signs and symptoms, the places to seek help. Now that we are aware of the seriousness of suicide, let's bring those numbers down by reaching out to your workstations, family and friends, and getting the word around. Thank you for your time.